Good morning, pregame crew. This is Charcal Lori. It is Friday, March 4th, 2022. Let me get the speaker a little closer. 8:23 a.m. Eastern, 6:23 a.m. Mountain Time. Good morning. Audio visual check, please. Hi, Greg, Night Truck, my dude, Wave Trader, and my girl, Melissa Hall. I love you back. Joe, Blue Dog, Roger, thank you for sharing that link this morning, Roger. Amira Asia. Scott, you're welcome. It's literally my pleasure. Matthew Argilio, good morning. Jack. Okay, Wave, will do. Hey, Sven. Jorge, Matt, Dustin, Topher. Dustin, okay, Chuck, thank you. I can get going. Maddie, how you doing, Lightning Man? I love your lightning strikes that you put in the chat room. I noticed these little things. Hey, Kegger. Thanks, Jorge. Perfect, Joe. Hey, Ricky, Anu, Roger, Kashu. Happy Friday, MG. How are we doing? We got non-farm payrolls in 7 minutes. Let me look at CCJ real quick. That's what happens when you're a moderator and a TCG OG. You get your request done first. All right, let me get back. I lost my chat. All right, CCJ. Oh, did not anchor that properly. I would watch this trend line wave. I would just be very cautious of this. And I know that we had, so CCJ is uranium related. We had Russia attacking Chernobyl and another, which they had already taken over that, but another nuclear plant, and they gained control and they were actually bombing it. And that really impacted the chart last night, but we were already looking for a daily lower high. So no surprises there overall for the market. So I would think this fundamental news is impacting price wave. Hourly's oversold. Looking for a daily high or low, and I'm always super aware, hyper aware of gaps below. You have a gap at 22.82 that's getting filled. So getting that filled, if 4 hour would get oversold, I'd definitely be interested in it, but I'd watch this 21.75 for a dip buy area. 21.75, but don't force it. It has to confirm first. Remember, we're waiting for the pregnancy test to confirm before we jump in. Welcome. No, Ricky, you're awesome. Hey, Tim. Yeah, Maddie. Let's go. Zoom. All right. Hey, George. Hey, Mary. Mary, are you Tucson Mary in the room? Okay, Zoom. Getting the Zoom beaten. We're at a 52-week low. 108.53 is your next support. 108.53. Monthly is not oversold. Weekly is getting killed. Daily has managed to bounce a little bit. We got a potential 4 hour bear flag. I don't like it. Look how they're skirting RSI oversold on 4 hour. Look at that. So they're getting a beat down. So they were down 7% yesterday, and 4 hours not oversold and potential bear flag. So caution. Yeah, because it's so oversold, we could see a bounce, but don't will that bounce into, or pretend to will that bounce into existence. It's not how it works. We got non-farm payrolls in 4 minutes. No, you're not, Mary? Oh, okay. We have a Tucson Mary in the room. I thought that was you. Hey, Tammy. No, you are beautiful. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Jorge. How are y'all doing? Are y'all doing all right? How was your trading week? I think I have some good things today for you. I'm actually more excited about a couple setups this morning than I have been all week. I would say I was super excited about AMD this week and it didn't work out, but AMD is back on my radar today. Bank of America back on my radar, or on my radar for the first time this week, I should say. And right now, to get you ready for non-farm payrolls, here's the story of the day. Right here, right now, we are in hourly equilibriums on the Fab 4 futures. So on the top 4 indices, and that's the Dow, NASDAQ, the Russell, and ES, we are in hourly EQs. It is my assumption that this non-farm payroll reaction will break us to the upside or downside. And then when price shows you who it is, believe them. Your mama ever tell you that? If a friend shows you who they are, if they're a bad person and they do bad things, you can't assume because they tell you they're nice that they're nice. When a person shows you who they are, believe them. When a chart shows you who they are, believe them. So if we continue this downtrend and we break this 428350, we have this other support 4275, and I'm calling this the key support of the day. And then Dan is pointing out also, I had in my notes, XLF 3680. So 3680 on XLF and ES 4275. Let me go add that to my notes right here. So I can ES 4275 is key level for day. And right now we're getting a little volatility in ES. This could be shorts covering before or people selling before the non-farm payrolls are announced. And then XLF 3680. Other key level. And this is who I am. I'm Chart Gal Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We teach technical analysis. I'm Chart Gal Lori on Twitter if you want to follow me. We are really working hard on new content for our members and some free content for the public. We're always working on that as well. And honestly, that's how we market. We don't spend money on marketing. We haven't historically, but this is how we get our name out there. So 4275 key ES support here. It's painful, net. Mary, that is so not true. We have one of our most respected, we have a few awesome members that are wonderful. We have one of our best options traders. She's in her mid 70s. So no, that's not true. Our uranium man that holds it down, he's mid 50s. And I'm not saying that's old because I'm closer to that than I am most of the members' ages. So good morning. Yeah, hit the like button. Why don't you? You know what, Jorge, you said it's been a boring week because of the sideways action. I'm going to go over that. I actually have some statistics for you. Hey, Patrick, how are you? You resuscitated anyone last night? I hope not. I hope everybody's alive and breathing. All right, here we go, 6:30. Let's go to the 1 minute. The initial reaction is not always the reaction. We would have to get, so your first resistance, 433950, and then 436125. Okay, we're through that 4339, so let's call it 4340. Remember, the first reaction is not always the reaction with follow through. I just took an ES short. I just covered. I'm doing this in Trade of 8. I am in love with Trade of 8. Thank you, Judd, for that. So I just shorted basically this hourly 21 EMA. I have a lot of graffiti here. It's one of my trading edges to trade reactions of FOMC economic data is to short an overreaction or go long an overreaction to the downside. And typically it's a nice risk to reward. And I'm out of that trade now. And now we see the real reaction. So after the initial reaction, and why is it so volatile? It's because the algos, they read the non-farm payroll numbers and then they just start reacting. And then the actual retailer brains and institution brains kick in. And that's when the real reaction happens. I love you back, Zia. Good, Patrick. Yes, Brandon. She's actually 70. Wait, I'm not going to say her name because she wouldn't want anyone to know her age, I'm sure. She's 76 and she's killer. How about that? Thank you, Maddie. Average hourly earnings. Okay, that's good. The wages, Maddie, I was watching the wages. We want wages to stabilize. If they continue to increase, that just shows this inflation. So we'll see. I'm not a fundamentalist. I am a technical trader. I enjoy learning about fundamentals, and sometimes it helps me get an extra edge, but I'm a technical trader, and that's all that matters. Going back to this hourly. So 436125, we ran into that hourly 50 MA, the Great Wall of China, and we rejected. You have support at 4310. Our key support for the day, 4275. So yesterday's low, 428350, and then 4275. Okay. I'm just waiting for this to shake out. I just took another short, covered it. And all I'm grabbing is like 10 points on NASDAQ, and it pays so well that it's so worth it. Okay, so on NASDAQ, here's your key resistance, 14060, 14086, support 13872. Yeah, hit that like button, then 13745. Okay, now it's the official introduction now that non-farm payrolls is over for now. Hi, I'm Chark Lori. I'm part of the Chart Guys community. We teach technical analysis. We have monthly and annual memberships to TCG, where we have my family, and we have tons of channels that you would be interested in, and we post setups, we post news, we share, we commiserate, we share different platforms. Judd's the one that taught me about Tradeovate, and I owe him now because I love Tradeovate. Oh, thank you for that. Thank you. So what I do here is the pregame show. I go over the Fab Four indices, commodities, cryptos, and movers and shakers of the day. And I always try to bring you notes. I prep for this show for approximately 3.5 hours, getting ready to bring you some of the better setups that I call Queen of the Mountain. Someone actually dubbed it Queen of the Mountain. I was calling it King of the Mountain, just some higher conviction trade setups. And yesterday, to give you an example of a Queen of the Mountain setup, CELH. CELH was our Queen of the Mountain setup, one of them yesterday, and it had zoomed to a lower low, and it ran on earnings, and the trade was shorting 66.40. And if you shorted that area, or at least the high, which that's hard to do, to hit that high and nail it, you would have gotten 14% to the downside. Do all of them work out like this? Heck no. But that's the reason I'm here, and this is what I do. We have lots of moderators in the room that'll answer any questions that you have. If you're interested in my chart setup, you can click on the video description below, and it will send you a PDF copy explanation as to why I use the indicators that I use. What are these bright colors? What are these yellow candles? You can click on that link and you can get that. Okay, we got the non-farm payrolls over. Here are your key levels for the day, or key things I'm watching. Actually, Apple, daily lower high on table, and then VIX. Are we going to break daily resistance in this daily EQ? If so, that is bearish the market. So here's the 4 things that I'm watching. These are the top 4 things I'm watching today. Okay, and Jorge, to address that statement that you made, I actually had typed this up. I get annoyed, and I know I need to work on it. I need to pray about it and talk to the Lord, but I get annoyed with the word chop. I don't like when people say, oh, it's a boring day, it's so choppy. 70 to 85% of the time, that's the general range, we're trading sideways. And Lamont likes to call this the value area, or balance. This is where we're trying to find where are the buyers, where are the sellers, and we're probing liquidity. And then 15 to 30% of the time, we have trend days, either to the upside or to the downside. These are the days, in my opinion, where wealth is built. And I have struggled with this the most. So that's why I bring it up often. Play out or stop out. Newer traders have a very difficult time with this. And it's a muscle. And you just strengthen that muscle day in, day out, being very consistent and purposeful with staying with winning trades. So I like to play out or stop out with at least 1/3 of my position. 1/3 of my position, so I can get that full gain. And that means scaling out quickly into profit, moving my stop below break even when possible, and then letting that final 1/3 play out. So for example, let's say Amazon. Let me show you Amazon, and I'll show you a play out or stop out example. So on Amazon, we're looking for a daily high or low, and hourly got oversold. So you could say, if Amazon were to break, let me write it out, 2960, I will enter calls. If Amazon breaks 2930, there we go, 2930, I will enter puts, okay? And then let's say you enter 3 each, which those are very expensive contracts. But if you have a winner, you leave that last one on until you stop out. And so if you're in puts, you say, okay, I'm going to stay in that last put until the 5-minute trend changes back to the bulls. Otherwise, I'm staying in it. That is how wealth is built. the conviction muscle, and it's not for a full position, which you could do that as well. But for me, I am less jumpy with a trade if I have some profit tucked away and squirreled away. So it's my point to you today that we have lots of sideways action. Today could be sideways all day. In my gut, I feel that we're going to have a trend day, either to upside or downside, but I can't trade my gut. I will trade the chart. And if it ends up being a trend, I will be with that trend with my trade as long as I'm keeping one scale on. And if it's shares and you do 90 shares, to me, one scale is 30 shares, 1/3. That's just how I do it. All right, indices. ES, NASDAQ, RTY, YM, hourly equilibriums, and we have not broken out of these equilibriums yet. We're still inside, okay? So we're still inside these equilibriums, which most likely means 12-hour inside bar. So we are stuck inside this 12-hour range, and we could bang-a-rang within this range for a while and have lots of misdirection cues and clues because we're stuck within a range. And the yellow bars, yellow candles on my indicators are just indicate that we're having an inside day. VIX getting near that daily resistance of 35.19 on watch. Daily EQ in progress. I post often in the room about UVIXY. I am using UVIXY on very short time frames because of the decay. I can't go longer than like an hourly chart, or it's just crap-ola. We call that gras-doux in Cajun French. So I can use VIX for higher time frames. It doesn't have that inherent decay. And here's our EQ. I'm showing it on the 12-hour now. Let me switch to the daily. So our resistance is 35.19. If we break that, I am even more bearish on the market because that means some fears entering the market. And I'll just put a little side note for those of you who follow P-call ratio. If we open today and we get over 1.1 on P-call ratio, meaning that we have, for every one call, we have 1.1 puts. So we have more puts than calls and everybody gets pushed over to that side of the boat. Then I'll look to start going bullish because there is a tipping point that I look for. P-call helps me determine that tipping point. That's just how I use it. You use it how you want to use it. Do you, boo? Crypto. Now, Bitcoin, I'm probably taking a little bit too much creative license saying a daily bull flag is still possible. It is getting stretched to the downside, and we do have a 4-hour bear flag forming. Let's look at it on the 4-hour. So this is how I calculated. Here's the actual pivot low, but if I were to condense this down a bit from the weekly, then that would, on the weekly, man, that looks terrible. Again, we're holding the daily EMAs, so as long as we're holding those EMAs, I'm going to go with it and just say potential bull flag, but again, I'm probably taking a little bit too much creative license there. Potential 4-hour bear flag, your key support 408.50. And I know it's 408.57, but I like to give you round numbers because Bitcoin is such a large instrument price-wise that you need to give it a little wiggle room. Ethereum, potential 4-hour bear flag, support 2689. Yeah, if you could hit that like button, I'd greatly appreciate it. YouTube is not nice sometimes. The algos are not friendly sometimes to different videos. So every time you hit that like button, they get a little more friendly to me. And I need friendly things in my life. Gold is still struggling with this daily bull break. So we got a bull break. So inside bar. But we know when we have inside bar resistances stacked like this, you have to break them all with follow through. We can't get through that main level of 1952. We hit 1954. $2 is not a bull break on a $1,900 instrument. So not getting a lot of follow through here. Let's see, can I be that bold? This is a diamond bearish reversal pattern on gold here. I really have a contrarian mindset this morning, so I'm aware of that. So before you start yelling, watch your confirmation bias, Lori, I know. I'm a little contrarian this morning because I think things are just too obvious, and I'll go over that as it relates to corn and wheat in a second. But I'm actually bearish gold here against 1955 resistance. Oil, let's see if it held. It has a potential 4-hour and 2-hour bear flag. On the 2-hour, you could see it better. If we break 113, I would say that the potential 2-hour head and shoulders is off the table. So resistance 113, then 116.57. Your support is 107.25 and 106.43. Nat gas, well, that's a nifty 2-hour EQ. And I had it documented for a 4-hour EQ here. Daily inside bar and 4-hour EQ. So let's look at it on the daily. Your resistance 4936 and support 4628. When you have an inside bar on a higher time frame, you can typically drill down and find your EQ. I love this little path. That's not what I wanted to anchor to. See if I can fix it. There we go. So there's your EQ on nat gas. And the only data that I'm aware of that's coming out today as far as commodities is the Baker Hughes rig count, which comes out at 12:30 Central, I believe. Please confirm that on your own. Let's talk about wheat. It's already happening in pre-market. Shoot. I was looking at a potential short for corn and wheat. So this is my personal screen of Thinkorswim. So if you type in corn on the option chain, this is the March 18th option chain, and I tell my viewer, show me only 14 strikes. And then I have it denoted or depicted for volume and open interest. So of course we have no volume because it doesn't trade in pre-market. Here is the volume, the number of calls that are out there for March 18th, a monthly strike for corn. Okay, can you do that math real quick? Maybe I can, I don't know, 10,000, 12,000, 13, about 14,000 calls over here. Okay, now let's do this math over here. We have about 1,000 puts and 12,000 calls. So I like to be a contrarian, and if it's the most obvious trade in the whole world, then I want to go get on the opposite side of that trade. They like to call that a crowded trade. I don't think it gets any more crowded than corn right here, and this is related to the war. So when it's news related, it can go way higher than we can remain solvent if we're trying to short it. But this is something I'll be looking at today for a potential bear entry for March 18th. Okay, let's look at wheat. Let's see if I can do this math quick. 5,000, 13,000, 21, 27, 30, 30. Let's call it about 34,000 in calls. And over here, about 6,000 in puts. That's a crowded trade, folks. Let's go look at the charts. This is not an all-time high for wheat, okay? So we're not in blue sky breakout, even though it feels like that, we're not. You have support at $11 and 1068. So I would most likely be shorting this via puts if I want to swing it, because I'm not going to short wheat futures or corn futures over the weekend because I don't like pain. I like my money. I don't hate my money. So I'm not going to short futures, but puts limits my risk. That's the max I can lose. If I buy $500 in puts, the max I could lose is $500. Corn, same thing. But corn is in blue sky breakout. That's the difference with corn. Look at that. Joey's been all over this, and he posted a lot of historical RSI trend levels on wheat, and they're in our commodities channel if you're interested in that. I like this notes document because I can insert images, so it makes it a little bit more fluid, or what am I trying to say? I have no idea what I'm trying to say. It's Friday, my gosh. And hit that like button, please. Yeah, Ed, they've been going limit up constantly. Yeah, I bet your cereal is through the roof. Okay, here's the Queen of the Mountain setups. And TCGers, I will post this in the room so you can copy it yourself and like mark it up however you see fit. I have to go do something real quick. I'm shorting oil at the moment, and I can't tell you how high risk this is, so don't follow me. And if you do, you do so at your own peril. But we just double topped right here, 112.27, 112.84, and I'm looking for this head and shoulders to play out. Okay, Apple, I'm scouting a daily lower high. So on my 4 keys of the day, what are my 4 keys? ES has to hold, I should know this, 42.75. Yep. XLF has to hold 36.80. Apple, this daily lower high on the table is very danger for NASDAQ bulls. VIX, if we break that daily EQ, that's danger for market bulls. So with that in mind, let's look at Apple. Apple on the daily. I just had Fergie go off in my, on the daily. Okay, I'll never sing again. I say that and I still do. So we're looking for a daily lower high compared to 173.34. Absence of some major news, a daily lower high is the most likely scenario. And just so you know, it's not showing, but we are trapped. Right here is a 200 MA and here's the daily 50 MA, and we are trading in between those two zones. So daily is a problem. We're not closing over the 21 EMA. And on the 4 hour, we're looking for a lower high compared to yesterday's high of 16891. So this Apple chart has me more bearish the market than any other chart I'm looking at. Now, let's zoom out a little bit and get perspective. We still have a monthly bull flag on the table. I know that, okay? We got the weekly bear break with very little follow through, bullish. But on this daily, consolidation could be on the table, and healthy consolidation is fine. And I would want an hourly oversold in order to buy that dip potentially for that monthly bull flag that's forming. AMD. Okay, let me go back to my notes on AMD. AMD, I'm looking for a daily high or low. Hourly is oversold, and hourly RSI had an inverse head and shoulders earlier. So let's look at that. You see that? Even though we know these don't always play out, but I want it to push down to hourly oversold in regular trading hours, and I'm looking for that daily high or low compared to 104.26. This wasn't a pivot, so I'm not considering this level an actual daily high or low. And I'm looking to buy this dip because AMD has that huge buyback on the table. I want to be a part of that. I don't want to let this trade get away from me. So that's why I stay focused on it. AVGO had earnings, having a bull reaction. And y'all know that I say ninjas only when it's an earnings trade. And what I'm trying to do is bring you highly experienced traders out there, high volatility names that you can watch for tightening patterns, whatever fits your fishing pole, and you could get a trade out of it. I'm not saying go bull or go bear AVGO. I'm just saying it should have some nice volatility. We've got some nice pre-market high volume. Your key levels are high of the reaction, 60656. I'd call that a double top with that level. And we're coming down now, support 593. We're coming down on NASDAQ. Okay, this is my queen of the mountain. And this is so opposite day. If you've been here a minute, you know that I am not a fan of the banks. Bank of America and JPM are my favorite shorts. But I want you to look at this. There's so much information we can glean from a chart. Look at this dividend, 21 cents. Doesn't sound like a lot, but on a $40 stock, that's a lot. So 21 cents. So now, let's keep that 21 cents in the back of our head. So 41.93 was the support here. Subtract 21 cents from that. That is 72, 41.72. So 41.72 maintains this daily low. We're not breaking the weekly support if we hold that. Does that make sense? So the dividend is exaggerating this down move. So what does this look like to you? Don't kill me, Jason. I'm not using trend lines on purpose. I just want to do it quickly. It looks like a falling wedge. We bounce the ball on the floor and it just slows down, lower lows with very little follow through. I think Bank of America could be a good long today with lottos. So I will be focused on Bank of America at open. You follow me again at your own peril. You accept risk. When you're the ones pushing the buttons with your money, it's your trade. It's not my trade. So please follow me with caution, whatever. I try to say all these words that I have to say, disclaimers, but you know what I'm talking about. EWZ. Here's another contrarian setup. I'm telling you, I'm on a roll today. So we are having a huge bull move in Brazil this week. Brazil EWZ has been on fire. So I am looking for a top fish because you know that's what you do. That's the logical thing to do when a chart's bullish, right? So I am looking for a top fish against 34.76. 34.76, I'm looking for a top fish. And over $35, I'm wrong. So $35 is my stop. Rivian has been getting demolished. It was one of my better trades. Oh, Rio. I forgot to type Rio on my list here. How dare I? Okay, this is the most interesting trade of the day. Bank of America is my highest conviction setup. This one is bizarro land, okay? This is bizarro. Stay with me. I'm going to click on this dividend and you're not going to believe it. $4.79. That is a huge dividend. Now, we need to go check it. Go confirm it for yourself before you try to trade this, because I'm not responsible if you lose money, yada, yada. But that's a huge dividend. And we're pulling back in pre-market, and we have it March 10th. So that's what? Next Thursday is the divvy date. So I am interested in a Rio long. If we could fill this gap. Oh, we did. We filled that gap. Okay, we filled the gap. So we're back at the 8 EMA. I like this trade for a long swing, and I will most likely be entering a position today. I'm going to let the market open and let it breathe, and then I'll see what I'm going to do. But I like Rio for a potential bottom fish with a big dividend next week. Rivian, looking to short a bounce. Bearish news this week. Bears have momentum. They announced a price increase for prior orders. So people who put in pre-orders for Rivian, they woke up to an email saying, we're increasing the price on you. And then Elon slammed them, and then they got bad press, bad press, bad press. So right now, I think it was 4 hour I was looking at. Yeah, it's almost oversold, and the hourly has cooled off. So I would love to top fish 52.50 on RIVN for a short. I don't have a lot of longs for you today. I recognize that. Tesla is a long idea. Scouting a daily higher low. Hourly is oversold in after hours. What's it doing right now? Probably even more so. No, it's bounced. It can't stay down. Got this little inverse head and shoulders. We got oversold, but I'd like a push down into hourly oversold during regular trading hours, trying to bottom fish this daily higher low against $700. Be on the lookout for 79201. Prior support could come into play here. All right. That's all my notes, I believe. Now let me go to your chat. I haven't been monitoring chat at all. That is insane, Judd. Wow. That's right, Luciana. No, only marshmallows. Okay. CGC. Okay, so Tilray got an upgrade this morning in VFF. So Tilray got an upgrade to $9 and VFF got a downgrade to $5. Just something to note. Tilray had a little more pre-market volume than normal, so just know that. Wait, let me go back and mark my levels from the daily chart. We're below that 661 support, so your next support pre-market 650 and then 642 and 639. So we're down in crunch land here. They've got to hold. Bulls have got to step out, step up or step out, step up. So we have a weekly inside bar. We're inside last week's range. Bulls have to step up here right now. This is prime time. We are in game time mode. They've got to step up. This is actually an interesting setup. 659 support, 650 resistance, 67. Wait, let me get you a higher time frame. Resistance 674 and 676. Yeah, KR is unbelievable. Kroger and Albertsons, oh my, unbelievable. Exactly, Judd. I don't see a problem with just cereal of marshmallows. I'm down with it. Yeah, Funko's up this morning. I don't know what their news was. I saw it on CNBC. It was up like $3. Yep. Earnings, that's what it was. Okay. Above that, we're above that, we're above that. They are rolling. So 2106 is your next resistance on Funko. Ninjas only. And what I like to do when I get a reaction like this is go draw a fib on it. So 1988 needs to hold for a bull flag to be in play on the 4 hour for FNKO. FNKO. XLE for Amera Asia, sure. Yep. So Davy Baby, it looks good. Just wait for a setup, wait for tightening patterns, whatever matches your fishing pole of choice. Okay. XLE is green because oil is green. As long as we're holding this hourly 50 MA and hourly EMA, stay bullish. I mean, I just shorted oil, so I know I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but XLE is bullish until it's not. If it loses 72.56, your next support would be 72.06, then 71.70. Resistance 73.68. All right, Jason's going to be live in 3 minutes. I'm going to shut everything down so I can go listen to him. I love you so much. I want you to be successful. And I hope you can hear it from the bottom of my heart. I want you to be an amazing, consistently profitable trader. In order to do that, you must use stop losses. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. TCG